Aleafia Health Inc. is a Canadian licensed producer and vendor of cannabis. The company has a planned and fully funded annual production capacity of 98,000 kilograms of dried cannabis flower. Aleafia operates medical cannabis clinics staffed by physicians and nurse practitioners with over 50,000 patients. In December of 2018, Aleafia Health acquired Emblem Corp in an all-share transaction valued at approximately $173.2 million. Aleafia Health Inc. is listed on the TSX Venture under the ticker symbol ALEAF. And our guest is the CFO of Aleafia. I need to say it slowly so I don't slur it. Aleafia Health, which is, it's got to be exciting. It's got to be an exciting day for Benjamin Ferdinand. How are you, sir?
Great to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
How you feeling good today? It's got to be amazing. You're on the junior exchange. You get listed. Talk to us about the process.
Yeah, so it's been an exciting process for us, and you know, we recently just achieved the top performing company for TSX Venture, so that's very exciting. And over the last couple of days, we've just announced that we are going to be upgrading to the TSX Senior Exchange, where it's an elite company with the cannabis space. So we're very excited about that, and shows our track record of execution.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that for the company. I mean, as you say, you've just graduated. We talked about it on the news this week. What is the upside of being on the TSX?
Yeah, so what it really allows you to do is have access to a lot more institutional investors, which is exciting, and really where you want to get to as our companies mature, and when we get close to the the $1 billion range, that's when we start to become more attractive for those types of investors, and it also adds to the credibility and shows our track record. So we're excited.
It kind of leads into my next question, which is, we're going to get to the business model in a moment. What does it mean for shareholders?
Yeah. So from a shareholder's perspective, I think it helps to validate the trust that they have in us, and builds the credibility of the brand that we have. So I think it's really a sign that there's a lot more to come, and really validates it.
Well, I can ask you a little bit about your company. I mean, this must have been a big day for you guys in the office. You were celebrating. Were you celebrating with? Did you have like cake and things? What is the company? I don't know what it. Did you have everyone come into the lunchroom and somebody went out for muffins? What is it?
Yeah, so it's we have although we're getting to be a larger company, we still have the startup feel and enthusiasm. So we had there was some high fives.
Were there?
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
High fives.
Backslapping. Yeah.
The company. The leading Canadian medical cannabis clinic and education center network, 60,000 patients to date. Let's talk a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so what Aleafia Health is focused on is being the leading health and wellness cannabis company globally, and that's not just about having products and services. What we're really building is an ecosystem that's self-reinforcing, and we do that through 4 pillars. One is our product division, which is focused on growing extraction and high-value products such as gel caps, extraction, and sprays. Second is our health and wellness division, which as you mentioned is the largest clinic platform in Canada, giving us 60,000 patients seen. Third is our education platform, which allows us to teach not only consumers but also doctors and large firms.
Well, let's just step in there with doctors, because that really is, for a company like yours that's doing what you do. Educating the public is one thing, but also gaining the trust of clinicians is a whole other aspect.
Yeah.
Because, I spoke about this earlier this week with somebody, and I said, a couple of years ago I went to my doctor, and the Ontario Medical Association really didn't want to, deal with this until there was a lot more research, and companies like yours, I mean, I guess that's part of the education process.
Exactly, and one of our key business model differentiators is working very closely with doctors, and to do that you need the credibility that we're able to bring, and part of that is actually educating general practitioners, as you've highlighted,
right.
And becoming a thought leader in the space with some of our research that's come out around around how cannabis can help getting off of addictive sedatives, as well as cannabis in the workplace, which is coming up as well.
Well, that's that really is something that I've done a lot of reading into about how there are so many products, so many cannabis-related, modalities, if you will, that are looking to replace some harmful chemical solutions to problems that doctors and people have been looking at for years. In a company like yours, as you say, a thought leader in educating not only the public but the medical people as well.
Yeah, and you hit the nail right on the head. We view ourselves really as cannabis, or sorry, as opioid crusaders, where we're focused on getting people away from addictive substances and actually helping better their lives, right? So I think this is all in the same vein.
Well, I love hearing people like you talk about that, because there really is. I mean, I know there was a lot of giggling that went on. Oh, cannabis is going to be legal, weed's going to be legal in Canada. And I think the initial bloom was, oh, great, we can all get high. And as I said a ton of time, people were already getting high. It's the access to the sort of therapeutic use. I don't think people really considered that when the announcement was made a few years ago.
You're completely right. Our core is focused on health and wellness, and our target market, our average user, is the baby boomer, right?
That's
so
right.
These are people who are generally well off, but are using some things that aren't good for themselves, right? Such as opioids. And what we allow them to do is actually use use cannabis to help better their lifestyle.
Well, I was just talking about with Ed a second ago about having trouble sleeping. As you age, it's a fact that sleep is tougher to attain, and I love the fact you're doing sprays and capsules and replacing sleep medication with the person who knows the right dosage. Before I let you go, I want to talk about you approved a takeover of Emblem.
Right.
Let's talk about your takeover and what was the reason, what it means to production capacity, all those sort of business things. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we're really excited. So our Emblem transaction, as you alluded to, will be closing next week.
Yep.
And what it's really allowed us to do is really build up our ecosystem. So now we're able to have our production of cannabis, as well as having what Emblem really brought is extraction and product development and distribution, and allowing that to complete our ecosystem with our medical-based patients. So it really helped to create a sustainable, defendable platform. It's going to be difficult for our competitors to replicate, and really helps us give our consumers what they want when they want it.
So that takes care of that question. Will this affect the share price?
Yeah, so I can't give forward guidance, but
no, of course. I love that. That's such a great name. Forward guidance is a way for you saying, I can't tell you to.
But what we can say is we're really excited about the ecosystem that we've built. It's very defendable. We're going to have close to 140 million grams of production at the run rate, as well as the clients and patient and the ecosystem to actually sell those products through. So it's a very unique business model, and we're really excited about it.
Good for you. What about some other partnerships outside of Canada?
Yeah, so what we're focused, again, globally, as you've alluded to. We've got a partnership with Canada Pacific, which is an Australian-based licensed producer, and we're looking at others as well through, whether it be Germany, Europe, or other areas globally, but really exporting our ecosystem globally.
Well, listen, Benjamin Ferdinand, the CFO of Aleafia, see, I get it now, Aleafia Health. Congratulations on all your success. You got you graduated to the big exchange. You were also, as you said off the top, recognized. What was that designation? You just the award?
Yeah, so Company of the Year for TSX Venture 50.
Company of the Year.
Yeah.
Now, what was the criteria for that?
Yeah, so it's a combination of largely share price and market cap. Yeah.
Was there a talent portion of that pageant? Was there?
No, but you like to think talent had something to do with it, but it was really all based on numbers.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed your time here today.
Yeah, this is fantastic. We really appreciate it.
All the best to you, and congratulations.